Well, it sure has been a rainy week. Really, we need the rain. Making me sleepy, though.
I know. it really doesn't put you in the greatest mood sometimes, but we definitely need the rain.
We need the rain.
Yeah, we could certainly use the moisture, and we actually have several storms showing up on the 9-day. So I think we're going to be in good hands here eventually. And just kind of looking at where the rain has fallen over the past couple of days, eastern, southeastern Oklahoma really getting hit pretty hard with some of this rain. In fact, in Idaho, we've seen over 5 inches of rain. Now in Oklahoma City, not nearly as much, but we're not doing bad. In fact, eastern sides of the metro getting around an inch or a little more, but officially at the airport so far, about 0.64. Midwest City coming in at 0.82, Norman 1.02, and Purcell almost an inch and a half down there, a little over an inch and a half though in Shawnee and Seminole. And just kind of looking at Action Live, it looks like some of us are starting to get a break from the rain for this afternoon, but eventually this will likely fill back in and lift from the southwest off to the northeast. But right now, some of the heavier rain is right now falling over parts of Perry, western sides of Stillwater, moving towards Enid and Billings. Western Oklahoma also seeing some light to at times moderate rain. And we actually did get a phone call earlier that we're seeing snowflakes out in Elk City, and that's not surprising. In fact, we could see a little bit more of that later today, especially later this evening as temperatures continue to drop, but also some light to moderate rain. Right now, I'm just kind of moving through parts of Paws Valley, Wynnewood, eventually heading up towards Byers and Winnett, and eventually Tribby. And that's just going to be the trend. Everything's going to move from the southwest to the northeast later today. So although we may be getting a break in some spots here in central Oklahoma, it should fill back in later today. And then later this evening, some of that will be mixing in with some very light snow, but I'm not expecting an accumulation out of this. Overnight tonight by about midnight, a lot of this is going to be in the far northeast part of the state and eventually out of here. As we get into tomorrow, we're just kind of looking at a mixture of sun and clouds. Clouds will start to fill back in more so as we get into tomorrow evening. And then we've got another front moving in. It's going to be cold enough that it could squeeze out a few flurries, but once again, really not expecting much accumulation out of that. By Friday afternoon, eventually we will see some clearing in. Temperatures will be back down into the 40s, so colder in behind this next front. Right now, the Star Integris camera up of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. Cloudy, cool, some very light rain. 39 degrees, a north wind at 15. Wind chill right now just 31 degrees. Temperatures range from the low to upper 40s where it's not raining. Low 40s across the south, some low to mid 50s in the southeast with a north to northwest wind between about 10 to 20 miles an hour, gust size around 35 down there in Medicine Park. But the big picture showing this particular storm, it's continuing to wrap up as it moves off to the north and east, and then eventually later this evening, everything's going to move to the northeast and we're going to dry out until this next storm moves in. We're calling it storm number 2, and it's going to be pretty weak, but it's going to move a cold front through here nonetheless, bring in some colder air for Friday and the chance of very, very light snow and flurries Thursday night into Friday morning. This weekend looks pretty nice. It looks very seasonal. It looks dry for the most part. Sunday, a very slight chance of rain, but temperatures will be in the low to mid 50s. Storm number 3 on the heels of that by early next week. Right now, it looks like Monday into Tuesday, we're going to have a really good chance of seeing some showers, possibly some thunderstorms. And then a day after that, Wednesday, right now, where it's looking kind of iffy. Wednesday into Thursday, there's just going to be this slight chance as storm number 4 comes in that we could see maybe a rain and snow mix, but everything with that looks very light, at least at this time. Behind it, though, it should drag in some colder air in behind it. So lots of ups and downs, but lots of chances of moisture. Today, though, temperatures are going to hang out in the upper 30s here in Oklahoma City. We're going to end up at about 50 degrees in the northwest. And then again, this afternoon, 100% chance of showers. So again, although some of us are seeing a break right now, that will eventually fill back in. And then later this evening, it could be cold enough that we see a few snowflakes mixed in with the light rain. And eventually overnight tonight, a lot of that's going to go away. Temperatures dropped to about 30 degrees here in Oklahoma City, low 30s across the north. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be a breezy north wind, temperature of about 50 degrees. Next cold front moves in, so by tomorrow night, there's a pretty good chance we're going to have some very light snow or flurries. And then Friday, even chillier, highs in the mid 40s. But this weekend looks really nice. Generally, it does look pretty dry. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Valentine's, it does look like we're going to have a chance of showers with highs in the upper 40s. Lisa, back to you.